Hello, everyone. This is Eric Keith, editor-in-chief of the Quintessential Gentleman, and today we are talking to one of the great wrestlers, Mr. Lio Rush. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? I'm doing great today. Hope you're doing good yourself.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I want to talk about wrestling, but
Yeah.
you just dropped some music, so now it's like we're going to put that to the side. My first question is, how did we get here?
We got here because I felt like this was a stage in my career where it felt like I needed to put a project out like this. This is year 10 for me being a professional wrestler, traveling the world, accomplishing what I've accomplished in the world of professional wrestling. And, I'm letting the world know that I'm proud of it. I'm letting the world know that I'm confident, that I'm comfortable, not too comfortable, but comfortable enough to, keep the rocket going up. So this is how we got here through just hard work and preparation.
Awesome. So why, after 10 years, why do you think now is the right time?
I think for me, this year, I truly do feel like a veteran
Mm.
in our industry. I'm still considered pretty young, uh, but I've accomplished so much. I feel like I've lived, you know, three, four, five different lives in professional wrestling. And now just feels like the time to, not only remind people of what I've done, but also make people aware that at the same time, we're just getting started.
Awesome, awesome. So going into the booth, we know that you just put out this is it EP?
I would say it's the EP. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
I think the weight that the project holds, it feels like an album, but
yeah,
it's an EP.
EP, yeah, because 5 songs, right?
Yeah.
I want to know when you first walked into the booth, just into the booth before this album and like saying this is what I want to do. What was that feeling? Like how did you feel when you were recording, let's just say your first song?
The first song, which is fitting because the first song that I recorded for this project was the intro, Ready. Um, I remember initially naming it Ready after I recorded it. Um, and it just kind of gave me the vision that I needed for the entire project. It kind of had like a very like dramatic, cinematic feel as soon as the intro started. My sister also produced that beat, so it felt close to home. It felt like because I didn't know that I wanted to make a project. I didn't. I was just recording, but I just knew as soon as I made that song, I was like, okay, it feels like we're in that season. It feels like we're in that mode where this feels like the start of a project.
Okay, okay. Of course I listen to it and my part is I'm real, I'm him, they know. And it's like, okay, that's my part. So even just taking that line, what does that mean to you? I'm real, I'm him, and they know.
I think just in the world of wrestling, the curtain can kind of get pulled over everybody's, eyes, and there's that fine line between, you know, reality and what our world is. And I feel like you can come across, not too many great people. A lot of people that are in it for themselves, a lot of people who, don't want to contribute to things that'll help grow things as a whole. So I feel like I've always had that approach with anything that I'm doing in wrestling. I'm not only doing it for myself, but I'm doing it to elevate the people around me. I'm staying true to myself. I'm putting myself out there for everybody to digest, and just owning that. And if people don't accept that or if people don't like it, then oh well.
And it to me, I love that it's not an arrogant thing. It just seems like very confident, right? Like it just that the song, it just sounds very confident. And I love that aspect of it because I think too many times we kind of have to, I think when you are successful, you feel like sometimes you kind of have to dim yourself down because you don't want people to think, oh, you just think you this person, you and it's, especially when you're going into another space that people are not familiar, with you in, and it's like, all right, let me just,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think a buddy of mine, he said it to me best, but which kind of was the turning point for me with my music. Uh, just him saying like, man, yo, you've done so many cool things in wrestling. You've been to so many places. You've accomplished so much like in your life. And I feel like you should touch on that. I feel like because I'm not a quote unquote rapper, I can't necessarily speak on certain things that I've done in my life for it. But I mean, it's almost like similar paths. It's almost I'm traveling the world. I'm experiencing things that a lot of people don't get a chance to experience. Um, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to talk about that and put that in my music and make it seem like this is a big deal. We are listening to somebody who's experienced and everything like that. So yeah, that's what Feel Like a Giant is about,
I
for
was
me.
just about to say, like, I didn't even, my apologies, didn't even say what the project is called, which is Feel
That's
Like
all
a
good.
Giant. I want to know, kind of what did that, calling it that project, what that mean? If you want to add anything more to what you said, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I said, it's just realizing what you've done in the industry, not being afraid to own it, and remaining confident, with what you're doing and owning that, just carrying that weight with you and owning that weight, embracing that weight. Because a lot of people crumble under that kind of pressure. They crumble under things when they start to overthink about like, oh, this, that, and the third, and what if this doesn't go right or whatever. But I'm starting to embrace all of the pressure, all the weight that's been put on me, and yeah, walking around with that.
And there's also some of these, it's like also a vulnerability there too, kind of within this music, which I thought it's definitely different also from the wrestling world too, because there's no vulnerable. I am the best. This is who I like. You can't show any weakness or say I'm
Yeah,
not good, whatever. Whereas the music, to your point, you have more of that realness, that real cute is more humanity, is more human in that space. How was that creative space in kind of creating the music?
yeah, I think I have to have that layer of vulnerability in order for people to be able to relate to what it is that I'm talking about. Because although I am, speaking on what I've done and where I've been, I'm also talking about certain things that I've been through or places that I've been and a path, um, and what that can do to uh, any human, any person, experiencing those things, and knowing how to deal with them and cope with them, and like I said, like managing and carrying that weight and that pressure, and knowing how to act with it. So the creative process was cool, like because for so long, listening to the project over and over again, preparing myself for people to hear this project, I wanted to put myself in a space where people can genuinely feel, understand, and hear what it is that I go through as a wrestler and what I've personally gone through in my journey. So it was cool to be able to, have that in mind. Like, hey, I'm speaking to the people that have watched my wrestling journey for so long. And now I'm able to give them an audio piece of content to what they've been watching for the last 10 years.
It's good. Actually, I love how you said that. It's like I would I wouldn't put I don't want to date myself, but like a Spark Notes version, right? Like this little cheat sheet of who you are outside of that. And this is a different way. Some people write books, some people, do those type of things, but you did a creative way of doing that. So that's actually awesome. When you you know, are kind of in this creative space, do you have artists, rappers, any type of musicians that kind of inspire you?
Yes, I definitely do. I always get excited when I start to see, artists, roll out for a project that they're excited about. You can kind of see the journey that it took to get to the point that we're all about to, kind of encounter. But I'm always inspired by artists, especially these days. There's so many artists like wrestling, so I'm always I'm always like thinking like, man, like there's so many similarities between the two worlds. Honestly, how I see it with wrestling and being a touring music artist, I see so many similarities. So it
What are
makes
some of the similarities?
you said some of the similarities.
So what are some of the similarities?
Yeah, just the just having that larger than life kind of aura and presence about you. The traveling schedule. I mean, the wrestling schedule is actually probably a little bit more gruesome than the music, like a touring schedule. We're always on the road. We're always having to interact with our audience and with our fan base because and that's probably the main similarity because we have to connect with our audience so much because they're digesting, who we are, and trying to get them to feel connected to us. So, yeah, it's some of the lifestyles can be kind of similar too. I just feel like people see us as, you know, larger than life, type of beings. So rock stars in a sense.
So you already have a busy wrestling schedule. Now you done told me music schedule is just like it. Are you looking to do the touring? Are we looking for, I'm talking about the future. Are we looking for an album before you do a tour? What's your thoughts?
I would love to. I would love to tour my music, especially with this project. I've released singles and EPs in the past. Maybe I'll have some of those songs be a part of the set list. But I think with this project being out, it's a great, you know, driving force. It's a great motivator to want to start with these songs, take these songs on the road because it is a narration of, what I'm currently doing. I'm already touring around the world with wrestling, so I already have that tour schedule. So it would be nice to, set up a few shows here and there while I'm on the road and let people be a part of the whole journey. So
Awesome. So tell me, what would be the top three cities you would want to perform
top three cities. I
in?
For one, I think I love to perform in LA. I think LA will be a cool one. Just because that serves such a huge purpose. And it was a huge chapter in my life. Uh, Especially when I took a deep dive into my music. Learned how to be very vulnerable in LA with my music. Learned how to be
Now
vulnerable.
where did you record this album?
I recorded this album actually on the East Coast. Back at home, I tracked my entire album myself. So it was pretty intimate. It was, I wanted it to be just me. I wanted to be in my own head, in my own space. I didn't want any influences around me or, voices over my shoulder or anything like that. I wanted this to come straight from me, straight from my brain, my words. So
Where in
uh,
the East Coast?
DC. Yeah,
DC.
DC.
Okay.
I'm originally from the DMV area. So I was going to say another one of those shows got to be in the DMV area. It's got to have a hometown crowd. And maybe New York always shows me love. I, I I love going to New York. They always support. So
What's an international city that would be good?
Tokyo.
Okay.
I love Tokyo. Either Tokyo or London.
Okay.
Yeah, me. I got family out in London and Tokyo. I've been fortunate enough to do about 6, 7 different wrestling tours. I'm actually about to go back to Japan pretty soon in about
Wow.
2 weeks. But yeah, that was such a game changer for me, being able to experience Japan and seeing what that culture was like. Yeah, another huge influence on me and my music and just my life in general. So either London or Tokyo for international for sure.
Perfect, perfect. And just lead me with this. My last question is just what advice would you give for anyone that's trying to, really take it to the next level? May that be wrestling, may that be, the music career. Just what advice would you give them?
Lock in, dial in, focus. Like uh, the world is so it's just constant movement. It's constant distraction. Um, it's constant influence. Uh, and I think to truly level up, to truly, you know, get to, uh, you know, that that level playing field that you want to be at, you have to focus on yourself. You got to block out all the noise. You got to do what I did with this project. You got to be by yourself.
Yeah,
You got to be by yourself. You got to see the vision. You got to believe in it. You got to believe in yourself, and you got to stick to it. Um, yeah. So lock in. That's my advice.
perfect. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Everybody, make sure y'all stream Feel Like a Giant. It's definitely something y'all should take a listen to. And we look forward to talking to you again, man. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
All right, talk soon.